Patreon. What's going on, everyone? As you can see, we got a little bit of a different setup. We're lacking the headphones. Not to blame people, but yeah, my headphones got broke. So hopefully new ones are coming tomorrow. But in the meantime, we still got breakdowns to do. We still got reactions to do. So I've actually grabbed my inner ears that I use at shows. It's kind of weird. I'm still getting used to it because I can hear the feedback in my own ears. But yeah, this is the Band-Aid replacement that we have right now. We're going to dive into MGK's Lost Americana. Now, a quick disclaimer on this. There's a couple of tracks that I did actually hear when I was away because I just couldn't help myself, and I just want to see what this album is like, and I really like them. So I'll let you know when we get to those. But I'm also going to try to really let things play more since this is Patreon, and since I can get away with a little bit more on Patreon, just like letting things flow. But we know it's me. We know I'm going to itch and urge to want to stop and talk often. But yeah, let's do this. First and foremost, Outlaw Overture. Let's go. Okay. I love those lines. I was raised in a dying town. You think about MGK being from Cleveland, right? Being from the Rust Belt. And obviously it's called the Rust Belt for a reason because the industry has rusted. So you could take that poetically and symbolically, like he feels like he's a part of a dying town in certain ways, but also literally because the economy is dying within the town. Dope little line right there. And also just the mixing on this is interesting. It kind of gives me, hang on, I'm going to adjust my camera a little bit more too. It kind of gives me the 1975 vibes or like a Killers. What I mean by that is you have this rock sound, but it also sounds retro. And the mixing on his voice, which, is artistic in and of itself, depending on how you approach the mix, this mix is super reverby. It's almost like coming through a megaphone. And it reminds me of the same way the 1975 mixes a lot of their vocals, or the Killers or bands like that. And then you match it with just these retro sounding drums and percussive hits, and then this just spacey guitar synth. And there we go, man. It's just classic retro rock pop for the new era. I was raised in a dying town, yeah. I miss my drugs. They've been my friends since 21 still. I think you have this concept as he muses about, faking his own death and sort of this death and life and this rebirth of self. And this resurrection of self in a new image. And you can't help but feel like there's a little bit of a meta and fourth wall breaking there because obviously, with the genres that he's crossed into, just kind of announcing this album and the heads that he's turned, going more of the pop route and the rock route. And obviously just that whole genre switching makes it feels like he's kind of reinvented himself. He has embraced a new life.
It sounds cliche, but tell me, would you wait for me? Baby, I'm a rolling stone. I got a lot of right in me, but I don't want to say this wrong. Tell me, would you stay with me? Maybe we can make this home. You should run away with me, even if you're better off alone. Your name is...
I like this hook. I think it's pretty catchy. And obviously, it definitely leans into Baby, I'm a Rolling Stone, Run Away With Me. It's every single kind of relationship and lyrical cliche that you can embrace. But I think there's a reason why the song is called Cliche. But it's almost like accepting that love can be cliche at times in terms of how it makes you feel. And especially that first excitement of love as it begins to develop. And MGK, I think, kind of realizing that, leading into it and go, yeah, it's cliche, but hey, it's how I feel. But also just kind of poking fun at the same time at it all, and even maybe a little bit at himself.
Maybe we can make this home.
From a musical perspective, you start off with this too.
I'm a rolling stone.
Baby, I'm a rolling stone. He's a little bit bassier here, lower. And I love this strategy, right, in terms of musicality. You set up the hook. So he starts with the hook. We don't realize it's the hook at first. But then what you do is you bring this back around, and instead of just having this one singular track that sits here, all of a sudden you fill it out. You've got more harmonies. You've got him hitting like some higher harmonies with it, just kind of like vocal stacking to like really bring it in terms of bandwidth and extend it out. Okay.
They pull me over doing 135. Show me the money and I'll show you the lies. Everyone's equal till it's time to divide. Let's go.
Everyone's equal until it's time to divide. That is a bar and a half. Even the line before that, show me the money and I'll show you the lies. Wasn't the Jerry Maguire?
Everyone's equal till it's time to divide. Let's go.
Man, this has some grit to it too, some nice lyricism, but I really like these guitars. Like this is like that classic kind of rock out and super reverby on the percussive hits as well, man. Everything's well spaced. This feels fun.
I got a problem I don't need to define.
Anthemic chanting kind of vibes with this one. Rock anthems.
I got a problem I don't need to define. She's my reason for decline. I want love even if it's for the night. And I feel like I'm falling but won't fall in the line. Oh no, you want this,
Hey.
you got that.
I feel like I'm falling but won't fall into line. Another bar.
Fall in the line.
He's using some of his rap abilities on this with the
Oh
lyricism.
no, you want this, you got that. You want this, you got that. Never had a chance to be young, goddamn. No one grows old where I'm from, goddamn. Going through the motions all alone, goddamn. I can't lift this weight off on my shoulders, goddamn. Feel like they forgot my city, goddamn. No one's sitting shotgun with me, goddamn. I can feel the cracks in my bones, goddamn.
No one's sitting shotgun. That's like an important little line right there as he talks about his city and nobody growing old, because he's giving you, the realities of what led him to rap, coming out of poverty, coming out of nothing in Cleveland and feeling like he's one of the forgotten generations and forgotten ones. And like I've talked about, man, I really feel like that sort of lyrical content and those concepts lend themselves well to this brand of rock that he's given us, obviously mixed in a little bit lighter, meant with more like a pop kind of feel, but still like the roots of it and the blood of it is in rock and roll in terms of just the way this percussion hits so heavy, in terms of the guitars, right? And a little bit of a retro type of mix to it, some nostalgic vibes, as well as some more modern, like refreshing vibes too. And a simple concept, goddamn, right? But it gets catchy because you say like goddamn, you could say it, goddamn, like what a whip that is. I'm enjoying that. Versus like, God damn, I'm so frustrated. Can I get some help? Or even like looking up to God. Like goddamn can be used with so many different connotations, can it? And I feel like he's flipping on those different connotations here throughout. But back to the riding shotgun, just feeling like no one's there with him. No one's putting on for Cleveland the way that he's trying to put on for his city. And it almost like he laments not having that. But also you think about his break with Megan Fox, and you think about not having someone literally riding shotgun in terms of his partner, in terms of his lover.
I sleep against the bedroom wall. The sun comes out and I can't do nothing at all. I swear the life I live so boring. I don't know why they make it look so cool in stories. Cause I can't leave till it's nighttime and I can't drink what I want. Try to find the silver lining, but it'll kill me if I touch. And just walking in the daylight is something.
Try to find the silver lining, but it'll kill me if I touch. The saying, like, try to be optimistic about things versus obviously like literally silver to vampires. I think that's more for werewolves. But anyways, like he's leading into this monster, like not going out to the nighttime, not wanting to be out in the daylight, like sort of like that typical artist who like lives through the night, right? Who sleeps in, who really comes alive in the nighttime. And that, again, the sex, drugs, and rock and roll style lifestyle, but also just feeling like you're on this reckless crash of self-destruction, but it's almost like a devil may care attitude. Like you're aware of it, you lament where it's taking you, but at the same time, you're caught up in just this rush that you can't let go of, right? Because you're going through it up here. and your mind is just spinning out of control, and your world is reflecting that, and everything's just spinning out around you. But I love the way that he's like taking sort of those mentality and those lines and like just kind of describing his lifestyle, but he's also mirroring, ironically, a vampire and how vampires are. Vampire Diaries.
They make it look so cool.
Why they make it look so cool. Twilight, eat your heart out.
Cause I can't leave till it's nighttime, and I can't drink what I want. Try to find the silver lining, but
Can't drink what I want. I'm supposed to take care of myself. Versus vampires drinking blood, like, because that's all they can drink.
it'll kill me if I touch. And just
Edward Colson over here.
in the daylight is something I've never done. Hey, Miss Sunshine, I took a tab and felt the sky. It's a good life, and then it's bad, but that's alright. On the bright side, we all sin and sympathize. So in the meantime, might as well enjoy the ride. 4 seats if I.
We all sin and sympathize. Might as well enjoy it in the meantime.
Where's the volume? Turn it up. Who got the playlist? Everybody sings the song just like we're famous. We were royalty in a cheap hotel.
He's got like some good one-liners. Like, I feel like this speaks to his versatility, is that he can put himself in the different genres well, and he just has such relatable lines. We're going to sing as if we're famous. And I know so many people are going to like look at each other and like sing along to that line, right? Because you think about like being in the car, and then like you put on that one song that everybody wants to like sing along to. And it's just, it's a simple line, but it's one that everybody can connect with and everybody will find so relatable. And I feel like it suits the theme and the vibe of this song so well. That's not a line he would say on like a more grungy, raw hip hop track. That's the line that he says on a song like this. Remember what I talked about, like the Killer's vocal mix? Here we go. We're kind of back to those vibes. I just met you. And just like the way that certain words and syllables are enunciated, like that typical like rocker voice. I just met you. Obviously more like punk rock, right? Talking like Newfound Glory, and you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying with the enunciation.
Sweet Coraline, I'm hanging by a thread. I can't let go of things that you said. Sweet Coraline, I'm hanging by a thread. You're never gonna see me again.
Sweet Coraline. You mean the movie Coraline? And like our feminine protagonist there in the, what was it? It was an animated, had like undertones of horror. So is that what he's saying here? I'm hanging by a thread because you're so sweet, but we all know that there's something darker underneath by naming her Coraline. Or if she's literally named Coraline, that's a smooth double. It obviously plays off of Sweet Caroline. Ba ba bum, that everybody sings when it comes on at the bar. So he's done this a couple times now where he takes like a popular one like Country Roads that he did. I really like that Lonely Roads. And he obviously took something that's familiar to us all and he flipped it. So in this case, he's taking Sweet Caroline and he's flipping it. But to me, he's adding a little bit of like Vampire Diaries. He's demonizing a little bit by making it Coraline, not Caroline.
This feels like the opposite of real life. On my way to Valhalla on a steel bike. Living fantasy like JK Rowling. I'm JR, token these spliffs. I love smoking, my hands full of stones and gold. I'm Lord of the Rings. Needle sold new clothes, but it's more than it seems. I've seen dreams implode. Seen teens turn old before they grown. Burnt out before they fade away slow.
I like the J.K. Rowling, J.R. Tolkien, Lord of the Rings, and he's token, man. He's flipping on this, man.
I've been in a race with my trauma, can't outrun it. No wonder why I drive like I'm being chased. Pack up and move houses instead of renovate. Put my newborn daughter to bed at 8, then I'm back on the interstate. Chain smoking, looking like I'm about to hyperventilate. Got everything to celebrate on.
Pack up and move houses because it's, you know, obviously that's a little bit of a flex because he has the money and financial ability now to do that. But at the same time, I think there's a deeper symbolic line in him kind of looking at one of the flaws within himself. And it's something I can relate to too. Like, and when I wrote Pot in the Kettle and I had this conversation, you know, how it all started at an antique shop. And I've always never seen like the value in taking something old and refurbishing it and investing time in it to fix it when you can just buy something new. Whereas my wife is completely the opposite. But I think there's definitely a strength and a character trait in being able to look at things of the past and to find those treasures and to see the true value of them and the true history of them, right? Versus what's easy nowadays is just to turn to what's new, what's wrapped in plastic. And I think that just reflects the lifestyle and the fast-moving nature of the world in which we exist today, but also just a little bit of a deeper line from MGK's perspective and how he functions.
Yeah, I'm terrified of how I'm gonna look when I'm old. I can't even see you cause the room's full of smoke. I don't wake up until the sun gets low. 7 billion people, but we all die alone. So I want something else to get me through this.
Semi-charmed kind of life, baby. Come on. Sorry for the terrible singing, but Third Eye Blind, man, I remember my dad used to play this in the car all the time. I used to be able just to sing all the crazy eccentric lyrics to this one that the verse entailed. Wow. Never thought I'd hear this on MGK too.
Semi-charmed kind of life, baby, baby, I want something else. I'm not listening when you say goodbye. Said she wanna see the real me, so I'm standing naked. Trying to understand who.
Okay, that's one way to do it. Yeah, I mean, I don't think anything special with that one. Like, it's funny because I feel like we go from a really strong track to more of just like a mid-level track to me. Like, it's nothing to sing home about, but it's not bad either. Like, he knows how to put together very solid sounding music, very good sounding music. And obviously you can have a cheat code when you take like the route to nostalgia and flip it into Third Eye Blind.
Hey, I'm doing this like nobody's listening. Like I'm just writing for my.
I heard this one. I really like this one.
Hey, I'm doing this like nobody's listening. Like I'm just writing for myself, but I lost contact, sky's the limit. Even with the ability to have a fuck, I wouldn't give it.
Nice.
Everyone's attention span too short to be specific. I made so many songs that when I'm gone, I'm never finished. Codependent.
Everyone's attention span is too short to be specific. You can't go to detail anymore because people just move on. People lose interest. I mean, this is the world of over-hyper stimulation that we're involved in now, man. And none of us really realize how much it's rewiring our minds and our brains.
Too short to be specific. I made so many songs that when I'm gone, I'm never finished. Codependent. When I'm isolated, I'm reminded that the voices I silenced are still coexistent. I watched porn and was mad I did it. Went to church, put extra in the collection plate just for sinning.
I watched porn, was mad I did it. Like a simple line, but for me, like, you could say it's kind of silly, but I love just how there's no filter to this one. Like, for me, some of the strongest art coming out of hip-hop currently really exudes just that authenticity and no filters. And that's what I get from this verse. This is MGK just like looking back at his life and his upbringing and taking away all filters and just saying whatever comes to his mind.
Whole album made right here in my living room. Yeah. I still wish we kept that line that's like, with the same crudo at dinner eating hamachi crudo. My brother Rook don't eat nothing but cheeseburgers. If you know, you know. Yeah. Day ones.
Love this little kind of dropout, right? And just kind of like talking, like almost like we're sat there in his house, in his crib. And it has kind of that, the lockdown sessions vibes that really took off for him when he did the lockdowns, just the microphone in the crib. And it feels like we're there. You could see him like in another lockdown session, making this song, just experimenting, just feeling the vibe. And you talk about like an Outkast anthem and just combining like the punk rock vibes and just that really feeling numb and feeling disconnected. But then also some really dope rapping, right? Still got some bars, very just taking away the filter, just being raw, giving you authentic him.
Everyone's high, it's time to go home. Don't say you're gone, just leave me alone. I don't care where you go, but you can't stay here.
I wonder if this is a little bit of a double, right? Maybe speaking to himself, like the party's over and you need to wake up and realize it. And like you say that to yourself versus like saying it to the people at your party and it's like, get out, like we're done. It's been a good night, but now it's time for apathy. Time to go. Who's singing these lyrics?
Can't stay here.
Well, that's MGK there.
Can't stay here.
That was like a slow riser, wasn't it? Like at first, I didn't know how to take it. And then as it built, though, you started to feel more of the emotion creep in. It started to just kind of build inside you. That one grew on me.
Dying for someone to give you their love, to give you their love.
This already has hit me in the feels with the guitar.
Lie awake stargazing, I won't sleep till morning. Echoes of your words saying, don't write a song for me. Everything is wrong in me, raised under wings of demons. And even if God's with me, without you I have no reason. This'll be the last.
Raised under wings of demons. I love that line.
And even if God's with me, without you I have no reason. This'll be the last time you hear me say sorry. That'll be the last tear you waste on me crying. I broke this home, and just like my father, I'll die all alone.
And no one alive to live.
Man, this is obviously for Megan, but like just those lines, those simple lines, but they cut so deep. You know, every child's fear, if you come from a broken home, or you fear like, will I just turn into my father? Will I just split this home apart? Will I push people away?
I'll die all alone.
And I broke this home. Like taking responsibility for that. Man, you could feel the pain in that. I think Can't Stay Here like sets you up emotionally, and then this just brings it home. And I see Orpheus next after this. Wow. I mean, this is a way to end it emotionally. This is, whew. Now we get heavy. Now we get tragic. Now we get sad. Now we just fully embrace all the heartbreak and the true pain and the true reason why he's felt apathy throughout this album.
I loved you truly, that's why it's hard to let it go. I broke this home, but I'll change for our daughter so she's not alone.
Man.
Oh, what a life to live when you're dying for someone to give you their love, to give you their love. And oh, what a life to live when you're dying for someone to give you their love, to give you their love.
Wow. This is sad, but this is beautiful at the same time. Like this is what I've been waiting for. This is the true raw emotion and artistry being pulled forth in the middle of just talking about, you know, like if you want to start bringing the waterworks with me, you want to start really getting me, just start talking about like fatherhood and like the example he still has to set for his daughters. And I can't imagine going through all this relationship trauma and breaking apart and just loving someone so much, but still knowing that somehow it's not enough. But still, he thinks about his daughters and the example that he still has to set and what he still has to do to move forward.
It's a complicated relationship, that's nobody's business, but I'm in this business, face it. I've been hiding from the ideation that the public has a ruin in my reputation. And it's crazy seeing quotations from a source that somebody curated, cause for me, y'all could feel pure hatred, but just keep our baby out the situation. It's a long road to redemption and a shorter one to damnation. I know which one is my destination, but the journey doesn't come without the frustrations, like it doesn't come without the
long road to redemption, but a shorter one to damnation. I know the one I'm on. Man, those lines just hit different. I mean, you talk about, I can't imagine, like I know the scrutiny I get put under, but it's nowhere near the level of an MGK and what he has to deal with day in and day out. And I've seen it, the gossips and the tabloids and just all this speculation on his relationship with Megan. And it's so personal and he's trying to deal with it. And we're all human beings and we're all imperfect. But the problem is when those imperfections just get put under this magnifying glass while people are still trying to figure it out and just trying to, you know, wade through their own lives. I can't imagine the added pressure, the added stresses that come with that. And everybody feels like they're somehow involved in the relationship and their speculations of it all. And it's been so highly publicized. And I just love how he's taking advantage of his music as an outlet and his art to respond to all this, to deal with all this, to process it through the music itself. So obviously I left my previous Orpheus breakdown because I'm really proud of that breakdown and I'm proud of that track. Like that's an incredible track from MGK. And just for me, stepping back and looking at this album as a whole, I think I talked about it sort of halfway through. I felt like there were some moments when it really shone and there were some other moments that felt unspectacular, that just felt like, yeah, sure, they sound good sonically, but did they really do anything in terms of matching what he's trying to go for? Do they progress the art? I feel like he's still experimenting. He's still trying out this lane and he's trying on like different outfits, trying to see what really fits well and what doesn't. And you could hear some of that experimentation, which, hey, I think is incredible. I always want to encourage. Like, I think what MGK has done, like, you got to think about the courage that he has, the balls that it takes, because people still troll him over Eminem in that whole situation. But at the end of the day, he wasn't afraid to take on Eminem, even knowing the stands, even knowing what would come after him. He still took him on, and he still stood solidly on his ground. And since then, he's continued to drop raps. Like, he hasn't just changed genres and given up on hip hop. He still gives us hip hop, but I love that he is not afraid to push boundaries. He's not afraid to experiment with his music. And it just shows to me the complexity of his soul and the complexity of who he is as an artist, and that he's willing to try different things in different styles. And I thought there were a lot of shining moments as well on this album where those styles really came together. And like I talked about, the blendings of the rap with the singing, with the punk rock, with those elements, those were really dope hitting tracks. And then for me, the strongest part of this album is obviously towards the end, because I feel like that's where we really got down to the true art. We didn't kind of have some of those more like cliche, rebellious, teenage spirit type of lyrics. You started to get down to the heart and soul of it, to his, complexities dealing with his relationship, loving someone so much, but knowing it's not enough, falling out of that, trying to fix himself, battling these demons and everything within. And I feel like he really just put his soul out on the page there towards the back end of this album. And if you would have had that throughout, wow, you could have had just something crazy hitting in terms of the art. But anyways, enjoy that journey. MGK, Lost Americana, you were Knoxville certified. Hope you guys liked today's video. Patreon, listen, I love you. Stay safe, stay positive. I hope you have enjoyed this album journey. Don't worry, we got a lot more content to come, a lot more on the way. All right, everyone, I love you. I'll catch you again.